are going to react to animations. So first we're going to react to wansee. When listen,
when I was 10, my parents divorced. My mother left the house and disappeared. A few years later, my father married my stepmother. She was a very beautiful person and sweet as an angel to me. Being that she worked as a nurse, she used to take care of me whenever I got sick. I started to open up to her, and it seemed like we were becoming a real family. Until an incident happened. About 1 year later, I started to get sick. It was weird. I could feel my body was getting weaker and weaker. As always, my stepmother took care of me with all of her heart. However, something felt different. Sitting next to me while I was laying in bed, she took something out of her bag. The first thing that caught my eye was a syringe. She said she would inject me with a tonic to get better soon. To this day, I get goosebumps whenever I think of what she said, and how she said it with a smile.
I am an angel, and I'll send you to heaven. You won't hurt anymore.
After hearing that, I refused it because it felt really weird. She then kept saying it was okay and even forcibly tried to give me the injection.
You need a shot now!
Being scared, I kept saying I didn't want it. I eventually jumped up from the bed and ran away. She then shouted loudly from behind, chasing me with a syringe in her hand.
You can't go to heaven if you reject it like this.
I ran away screaming like crazy. Ah! Just then, my father came into my room when he heard my scream and shouted at her. She screamed and rushed at him.
It's time for you to leave too.
She then put the needle in his throat. However, he managed to block her and knock her to the floor just before she injected it into his body. Later, my father immediately called the police and she was arrested at the scene. Being terrified, there was nothing I could do but just flop on the floor. It turned out that she tried to inject us with a drug that kills people. The cops told me that if I had taken the shot, I'd probably be dead by now. The investigation found that she was suffering from severe depression and mental illness. Also, it turned out that she had been putting poison in the food which I ate over the past few weeks. In other words, I was dying slowly. I eventually recovered after the treatment, but I still suffer from the fear of that day. I'm sure you're all curious at this point. What could be the reason she tried to kill me? I'm the one who's most curious about that reason. All I could say is that when she was taken away that day, she stared at me and hummed a song with a freakish, chilling smile.
अंकल को तो खैर किया और बोला कि आप लाहौर आए हमारे घर आए इन्होंने हमें ना घटिया सामान दे दिया घटिया तो अंकल ने बोले फर्नीचर तो मैंने बना दिया 3 लाख का तो फर्नीचर था और उसके किराए के पैसे भी दिए थे फिर कहते नहीं उन्होंने तो इतना घटिया सामान दिया अब सामान वापस मांग रहे देखिए चालाकी इतनी थी अम्मी को बोला सामान वापस ले लो उनको बोला कि इतना घटिया सामान दे दिया अब सामान वापस मांग रहे
I was maybe 16 years old, and I was kind of a rebellious kid. I joined Tinder to meet some older guys, and I was matched with this really attractive 20-year-old that seemed really into me. Naive, I know. Anyway, he asked to pick me up from school the following day to get ice cream and walk around a nearby lake. I said yes. He picked me up, and we had a great conversation. Nothing weird, and it seemed like we really enjoyed each other's company.
You should leave creating so. Maybe something happened.
आधे से ज्यादा खानदान मेरा लाहौर में मैं आऊंगा तो उनके घर आऊंगा आप मेरे रिश्तेदार थोड़ी हैं फिर अंकल ने कहा आपने तो वलीमा ठीक से नहीं किया था 4 लोगों को खाना नहीं खिला सके थे तो आप क्या बातें कर रहे हैं
Yeah, but
Lake. No one was there because it was the middle of October and very cold on the water.
October.
We walked about halfway around the lake, and that's when it got weird. He started talking to me about crime documentaries and how he studied them and knew how to kill someone without getting caught. He started making tracks in the mud and said that he would wear shoes that were too big, so the police couldn't match him on the shoe size. He picked up his shoes to show me 10.5 and informed me that he wore an 8. I got uneasy. He started strolling around me while I was sitting on a bench, like I was prey.
Today is my
He went to one of those doggy baggy dispensers, grabbed one of the bags, and started swatting me in my face. I thought he might be trying to gross me out, so I half giggled and swatted it away. On one of my swats, he grabbed me by the forearm and pulled me in and put the bag over my head. Still, I thought he might be kidding.
Then punch
But as I
it.
tried to get
Punch
away,
it.
I
Punch
noticed
it.
he wasn't letting up. I was starting to panic now, realizing I wasn't getting any air, and he picked me up in sort of a headlock position. I was kicking and trying to elbow, and I guess one of the elbows connected to his groin, and we both fell to the ground. He laughed and said, "You got more fight in you than I thought you did.
उनका
I
नाम
was
मत
just trying to
लेना
make you
सलीम
pass
अंकल
out,
अंकल
but I
अंकल
didn't even
उनको
get
बोलो
that far.
कमीने
I'm proud of you."
कमीने और कुत्ते
All of my stuff, phone,
कमीने और
taser,
कुत्ते
was in his car on the other side of the lake, so I decided to play along and pretend that it was funny. I told him I needed my inhaler now and to walk me back. He did, surprisingly. I got to his car and I grabbed my taser and my phone while he walked around the back of his car to the driver's side. I texted my mom SOS and to track my location. When I looked up from my phone, I noticed the guy had pulled out his pocket knife. He got out. That's the second time I've tried to kill you today. The whole drive home, he proceeded to tell me how he would have raped and mutilated my body if I accidentally died that day. I got home and bolted out of the car. As soon as I did, he sped off. I got a dick pic later that night, and then he...
I'm 24 years old, female, and I live in Michigan. This happened in 2014.
I noticed he wasn't letting phone take seconds. I don't know why, but I said, "You're not gonna do it." This seemed to snap him out of it, and
इतने
he...
कमीने कहाँ से निकल कर आते इतने कमीने कहाँ से निकल
नवरीन अभी आई है ना
I'm
इतने शाम से
24
छोड़ के
years
गए
old,
घर में इतनी टेंशन हो रही
and I
है
live in
मुझे
Michigan.
2-3 हफ्ते हो गए 2 निवाले भी मुंह में नहीं रख सकती डॉक्टर के पास गई तो उसने बोला आपको तो एंजाइटी है अब वो कुछ भी
आपको भी हो रही है आपको बोल तो मैं रहा हूँ इतने कुत्ते कमीने कहाँ से निकल आई है
Bye. I hope you love it.
इतने गिरे गए